Good morning and welcome to May Dugan Center. I want to thank the team at May Dugan Center for hosting us today. I'm Ronayne, Cuyahoga County Executive. Thank you, Andy Traris, the Executive Director of the May Dugan Center, for hosting us today. And his board chair, Alexis, who I saw on the way in, and to the workers who are here today, feeding today at the May Dugan Center over 300 of our neighbors. To Congresswoman Shontel Brown, thank you for always fighting for Cuyahoga County and for Washington, D.C. And mayors, we thank you for the partnership. County Council, Cleveland City Council, thank you for your ongoing support to ensure that no one goes hungry in our community. That is why we are here today. I want to thank the many nonprofits that are here today and our many companies who are here today, particularly our community partners who gather with us today with a fund for those in need. The Cleveland Foundation, the Gun Foundation, our sports teams, the Cleveland Guardians, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cleveland Browns. Thank you for stepping up and answering the call to help residents in need. Last but not least, we want to thank our county team, the County Job and Family Services team, led by Director Kevin Gowan and his team, who are tirelessly working on our behalf to administer SNAP and Medicaid benefits in a very, very complicated environment. Today is about extending our gratitude to this community that continues to give and to help its neighbors. Today is Cuyahoga County doing what it does best, coming together in the face of challenges and finding solutions that put people first. At this moment, 190,000 Cuyahoga County residents are at risk of losing access to their SNAP benefits at midnight tonight due to the federal government shutdown. While the federal government is shut down, our county and our city governments do not shut down, nor do our partners that are filling this room. You don't shut down for our residents. For many, though, the benefits that are potentially being lost are the benefits that are really put a person between a full pantry and an empty one. Food on their table for their families, or no food. We're talking about parents who skip meals so their children can eat. Seniors forced to choose between food and medicine. And working families doing everything they can, but coming up short because these SNAP benefits are in a layer in the stack of income that supports their full community living. Energy costs, transportation costs, housing costs, food costs. If you lose one, it's a domino effect. But that is why Cuyahoga County today is stepping up with our partners in this room. Today, I'm proud to be here with friends, colleagues, and leaders from around the region to announce more than $600,000 in food assistance for our residents. This emergency funding will not solve the whole crisis, but it will help families in every corner of our county, from our east side neighborhoods to our west side neighborhoods to our communities to the south, ensuring our residents are not left hungry during this crisis. We're all in this together in this community. It's a coordinated effort among the county, the city, our communities throughout Cuyahoga County, and our community partners. As I mentioned, our foundations, the Cleveland Foundation, the George Gunn Foundation, the Cleveland Guardians, the Cavaliers, and the Cleveland Browns. Also want to thank the Word Church. Each leader you'll hear from today is bringing resources, ideas, and compassion to fight hunger in our region. They've all stepped up with significant contributions, and we encourage others to do the same. I do want to thank the Cuyahoga County State Delegation for their advocacy coming through this week. Governor DeWine, our Senate President, our Speaker of the House, to release state funds that are needed in counties like Cuyahoga County and throughout the state. We lobbied for it last week with Shontel Brown, and we got it. We're grateful that our leaders in Columbus have seen the path to $25 million in food assistance as of yesterday for Ohioans. But again, we know this is not nearly enough. We recently formed the Cuyahoga Hunger Response Team, a coalition of agencies throughout Cuyahoga County, food pantries, nonprofits, and community advocates to make sure no one slips through the cracks. I see many members of the Hunger Response Team here today with us. This team is the reason we can respond quickly as we are today to the crisis upon us, and we can work together to continue to help each other. Tens of thousands of residents that will lose their SNAP benefits in the coming year after the federal government reopens because of the changes on the horizon. So this isn't just today, this isn't just this week, this isn't just this month. This is looking out and looking out for our families, because fighting hunger isn't just about getting through the moment. It's about building a system that works, one that values dignity, access, fairness, and support. So today's announcement is about more than money. It is about what's possible when we work together. When government, nonprofits, and community leaders unite with our for-profit partners around a shared purpose, ensuring every Cuyahoga resident has enough to eat. Together, we're proving that compassion and collaboration are stronger than crisis. And together, we'll continue to fight hunger today and beyond. I'm going to introduce my partner, Mayor Bibb, and we're going to introduce our partners down the line. But we want to say to all of you that are here today in these seats, thank you. At a neighborhood level, at a community level, our public sector partners, our nonprofit intermediaries, thank you for stepping up. This is who we are as Cuyahoggans. Mayor Bibb, thank you.
Thank you, County Executive Ronayne. I think all of us in this room here this morning wish we were here under better circumstances. Of the 190,000 folks who may lose their SNAP benefits on November 1st, 170,000 of those residents live in the city of Cleveland. And access to fresh, healthy food, access to SNAP benefits is not a partisan issue. I'm gonna say it again. Access to SNAP and access to health and fresh foods is not a partisan issue. This is about doing the right thing. This is about being good Americans. This is about being good neighbors. And so we have some headwinds facing our city, our county, our state, and our nation right now. I want to just thank the council president and members of council for their quick support and partnership to support this investment. We have committed initially $50,000 to this emergency relief fund. But as I've told the council president and other members of council, we will keep a watchful eye on how things materialize in Washington, D.C. to make sure we're responding as quickly as we can. I'm hearing from some folks that this may go beyond Thanksgiving. It could go all the way up until January of next year. And so this may be the first of many announcements from all of us in this room about how we're responding to the residents that we're honored and blessed to serve every single day. And so as we embark on these headwinds and fight these headwinds, I want to just say this to the public and to everybody here in this room here this morning. As we approach the Thanksgiving holiday, a couple of things to remember. And number one, there is no local or state replacement of these massive federal funds. The city, the county, and the state cannot replace federal SNAP benefits. We cannot. And so we need to continue to support Congresswoman Shontel Brown and her fight as they work to reopen the government. But all of us as citizens of this community and as neighbors, let's do our part. Let's work and volunteer at our food bank. If you know a neighbor in need, if you have some extra food, support our friends, support our neighbors. That's the best thing we can do in this moment. And this may be the first step of many as we see this shutdown continue. Without further ado, I have the honor to bring to the podium Congresswoman Shontel Brown to talk about the great work she's doing in DC to fight for our city and our county. Congresswoman.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Bibb, for the introduction, and thank you, County Executive Ronayne, for organizing this press conference. And thank you to our city and council presidents for being here. Thank you to Mayor Sellers and to our nonprofit leaders who are here as well. And finally, thank you to the May Dugan Center for hosting us. Just last year, I was here celebrating $500,000 in federal funding that we helped to bring here to support the great work that you do here at May Dugan Center. Of course, the environment is a little different now in Washington, but I will tell you this. It is times like this that I am so thankful and so proud that I am from Cleveland, because in Northeast Ohio, we look out for each other. And in that spirit, I just want to express my sincere gratitude to County Executive Ronayne, the Cuyahoga County Council, Mayor Bibb, the City of Cleveland, and all the local leaders and partners for stepping up to meet this moment. Because food is fundamental. It should never be a partisan issue. It is a people issue. And I want to provide a little bit of an update on what's happening in Washington. The Speaker hasn't held a vote in the House since September 19th, and the Senate just adjourned for the weekend. So that means there is no chance that this government shutdown is resolved before the November 1st snap cliff. So today, what I am paying very close attention to is this big lawsuit in federal court where a decision is expected very shortly. That lawsuit was brought by 25 states across the country, and the federal judge suggested last night that she might rule in their favor. The lawsuit is demanding that the Trump administration use the SNAP contingency fund to keep benefits flowing in November. That fund contains about $6 billion in emergency funding. My colleagues and I fund that account each year, and we do so with the guidance that it should be used during natural disasters and, yes, even government shutdowns. We believe this funding should be used now, and that is why I joined my colleagues this week in pressing the administration to tap this funding to get benefits out the door. The emergency fund does fall a bit short of what is needed to fully fund the SNAP benefits in November. However, it could cover partial benefits. And I've spoken with lawyers and advisors and counsel who believe there are ways to move money around at the USDA to get full benefits. After all, the administration has used this kind of authority to pay troops 2 weeks ago and to provide $40 billion in a bailout funding for Argentina last week. So I'm anxiously watching for a decision in this case, but I am hopeful. Hopeful because the judge sounded like she would incline to rule in favor of the states yesterday. And hopeful because the law is very clear. Even the administration's own guidance said that it had to tap the SNAP contingency fund in its own shutdown plans before it deleted that memo last week. So if these funds were released, we could end this crisis in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I also just want to say that this press conference shouldn't have had to happen. I, of course, appreciate everyone involved here today, but we shouldn't need local leaders to step up to the plate when the federal government shuts down. After all, SNAP is a mandatory program, just like Social Security and Medicare, both which continue to function during a shutdown. So that's why Congress must pass the bill I introduced with Congresswoman Sykes that ensures SNAP benefits still get out the door no matter what is happening in Washington. I proudly serve as the second highest ranking Democrat on the Agriculture Committee, where we have jurisdiction on SNAP. So I am committed to getting this bill across the finish line, ensuring we never have to hold another press conference like this here today. But to close, I want to say this. I sincerely appreciate every person, every organization, every agency stepping up to the plate to support our friends, our neighbors, our coworkers, and even our family. because 1 in 5 people in our district rely on SNAP. I relied on SNAP growing up. So this is personal to me and to so many in our community. So rest assured, I will keep fighting for this community, fighting to restore SNAP, and fighting to ensure no person in our community goes hungry. And I am so proud and grateful today to stand with so many Clevelanders who share that mission. So now it is my honor to introduce the CEO of the Cleveland Foundation, Lillian Kuri.
Good morning. I am so grateful to be here on behalf of Cleveland's philanthropic community, standing alongside our public, nonprofit, and civic partners with our sports teams. Alongside the Gun Foundation, who's a tremendous partner, we are prepared to partner further in this urgent moment. What I want to do with my time is tell you why a collective gift like this can be so powerful and can make big change. And I want to do that by telling you and sharing with you what Kristen Warsoga, head of the food bank, said the impact of this $625,000 will be. And I will quote her in telling you this. She said, first, knowing that our community leaders are standing beside us and their 1,000 partners in this effort means the world to them and to their struggling neighbors and partners. And she said that this collective investment will make a difference. And here is how. She said the food bank is prepared to provide 6 million pounds of food to our partners this November to ensure that their shelves are full and ready for the increased demand. This is 3 million pounds of food purchased or donated, and all the food will be free to their partners. This is 1.1 million pounds more food. That's 22% more than they distributed last November. And if the shutdown continues, as Mayor Bibb said, they will need more of our support. So she said with this help, the food bank will be able to continue the steady and reliable source of nutritious food for neighbors and partners in need. The headline is, this collective gift will help ensure the food bank is able to purchase the additional food for the month of November and for their partners in pantries for the most vulnerable seniors and children. I am so proud to be a part of this coalition because I believe that collective gifts like this can make this kind of impact. It is significant. And so thank you. I am so grateful to be here. And I don't know who I'm supposed to turn it over to next. I think to Council President Blaine Griffin. Thank you.
How could she forget another great Ward 6 resident?
He's my
First of all, I always have to acknowledge my partners that are here today, because as council president, you can't do any of this alone. And I want to announce my right-hand person, the first Latino majority leader for Cleveland City Council, Jasmine Santana. Dean of Cleveland City Council, Mike Polensik. Councilman Brian Casey. Councilwoman Rebecca Moore. Councilwoman Lauren Welch, Councilman Joe Jones, Councilman Danny Kelly, Councilman Charles Slife, Councilman Anthony Hairston, and Councilwoman Deborah Gray. I hope I didn't miss anyone, but if I did, please charge it to my mind and not my heart. Thank you so much. The gravity of this crisis does not escape me. As the Congresswoman said, many of us grew up in public housing and neighborhoods all throughout our community where we relied on this kind of assistance ourselves. My mother, who is a senior living on fixed income, relies on this kind of help and is in the crosshairs of what we're experiencing today. But as everyone said in the speakers before me, when Cleveland is at our worst and when we are experiencing our biggest crisis, this is when we come together and show that we are always going to be at our best when we're experiencing our worst. I would tell everyone that this potential reduction of federal SNAP funding isn't some abstract policy debate. It's a humanitarian crisis that is hitting our homes block by block in every single neighborhood and every person that we run into on a daily basis as council people, as we interact with the public. So I would tell everyone, the Alice report by the United Way said that in Ward 6, and I'll use my ward, that the biggest need, the largest need was food. So we experienced food insecurity already. And now on top of this, we're going to have even more food insecurity. It means a senior in Slavic village must choose between life-saving medicine and putting food on the shelf. It means a parent in Fairfax or Central who works hard every day simply won't have the dollar to feed their children dinner. In Cleveland, where over half the community lives in food deserts, it isn't just hunger. It's community destabilization. It means poor health outcomes. It means kids can't focus in school. And it forces our neighbors into truly impossible choices. Our fight against hunger is a non-negotiable fight for economic justice and public health. But let me be clear. Cleveland and Cuyahoga County, and I see many mayors here, and I'll leave that up to Mayor Sellers to acknowledge all of the multiple mayors that are here today. We are proud to announce that right now with our partners, the establishment of a major emergency fund that Cleveland City Council has dedicated $50 million from what the mayor said, the general fund, and then we're going to raise another $25,000 that Cleveland City Council is going to work with, as well as I want to thank all of the sports teams who immediately reached out to the administration and me to say we're all in. I see Kevin Clayton, I see members of the Cleveland Browns here, and I know that the Guardians were also very much involved, but also so many of our private donors. This mirrors what we did with the Rapid Response Fund during COVID-19. We have a coordinated plan to get the lifeline out immediately, and we refuse to let funding uncertainty determine whether our children have access to food tonight. We're going to support our neighborhoods and feed our families, no matter what, and prove to Cleveland that all of us together, collectively, will all work together to address their needs. I'm proud to stand with these men and women, and I'd like to thank the county exec for really pulling all of us together, as well as the Congresswoman. As she said, council dedicated at least $500 million to help May Dugan organizations like this to stand up their infrastructure. 500,000. I'm sorry. I thought I was talking about a stadium for a minute, man. 500,000 that we actually also put into the food bank in order to set up their infrastructure. So now we're doubling down, and this is a proud moment, even amidst this crisis. Thanks everybody so much. And now I have the honor of introducing my colleague and my friend, the council president for County Council, Council President Dale Miller.
Good morning, everybody. We're here because we're facing a test of local government. The federal shutdown has created uncertainty for so many families in Cuyahoga County who rely upon SNAP benefits to feed their children, to stay healthy, and to make it through the month. There is no excuse for what's happening in our country. There is enough food for everybody. But I've always felt that it's not what happens, it's how you respond to it. That's what today is about. Cuyahoga County is stepping up alongside our partners in the community here with us today to provide emergency support for SNAP recipients through this month of November. We know that this support might not cover every need, but also we couldn't sit idly by while families wondered where their next meal would be coming from. As council president and on behalf of Vice President and HHS Chair Yvonne Conwell, and all the members of the County Council. We are supportive of this plan and believe that it is the right course of action for our community to take. Councilman Sweeney could not be here today, but he graciously provided me a 45-minute visa to be here in his ward this morning. This quick, coordinated response would not have been possible without our community coming together. Developing this plan so quickly will make a difference. Our county's Division of Job and Family Services has always been a critical part of this effort, and Director Kevin Gowan, along with his team, have done a great job in keeping us updated on this evolving situation. If the shutdown continues, we'll continue to respond and do everything we can do at the local level to fill in gaps left by federal inaction. No matter what happens with the federal government, your county government will fight like crazy to ensure that you have the resources and support you deserve. We may not control what happens in Washington, but we do control how we respond here at home. And in Cuyahoga County, we respond with compassion, collaboration, and a strong commitment to our residents. So now I would like to introduce someone who is standing tall in this crisis, the Mayor of Warrensville Heights, Mayor Brad Sellers.
Good morning. Sixth man has arrived. So first, let me say, first of all, it does my heart well. I stand here not only as the mayor of Warrensville Heights, but a member of the Cuyahoga County Mayors and Managers Association. I want to thank County Executive Ronayne, Mayor Bibb, Councilor Blaine, Griffin, my own councilwoman and neighbor, Congresswoman Shontel Brown, for their due diligence here. When you look in this room, what is stitched across this room are Clevelanders, suburban, city, north side, south side, east side, west side. And we're here under one auspice. I am a believer that you can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can fund the stadium and we can feed people. And what I'm standing here before you as a representative of the Cuyahoga County Mayors and Managers Association is to let you know how important that is to our membership. As Mayor of Warrensville Heights, I want to address an issue that's affecting families not only in Warrensville Heights, but the city of Cleveland, but also all across Cuyahoga County. The urgent need to fund the SNAP food assistance program during this government shutdown. Right now, too many residents are caught in the middle of political gridlock, and that's unacceptable. The reality is simple. People still need to eat. Children still need breakfast before school. Seniors still need to put food on their table, and families should not become collateral damage as a political standoff. I'm concerned. 10 families showed up at Warrensville City Hall on Monday. These were young families because they knew the impact of what November 1st was going to mean. See, for some folks, it's a game. It's not a game. Any of us sitting here in front of you and in this audience know this is not a game. Tomorrow will become a real day. And we're going to see exactly what that is. SNAP is not a luxury. It's a lifeline. It provides stability for thousands of families who are working hard but struggling to make ends meet. If the federal government cannot move quickly to restore funding, then the state of Ohio must step into this bridge and bridge the gap until this crisis is resolved. That is why you see the coalition of elected people here today and nonprofits. And I want to thank Kevin Clayton from the Cavaliers, the Browns, the Guardians. This requires us to stand together as a bridge. ultimately, my own belief is that the pressure will force this to end. The question is, when is it going to end? And I will just say this from the standpoint of mayors and their concern, the spectrum is here. We have Mayor Booker, Michael Booker from Highland Hills, Mayor Ken Thomas of Richmond Heights. We see Mayor Burke from Garfield, Mayor Gill from Euclid, Mayor Bain from the city of Pepper Pike, Mayor Kochi from Beckford, Mayor Brennan from University Heights. It is important. We had a robust, very robust discussion at the mayors and managers meeting yesterday. And I will tell you, from the affluent communities to the non-affluent communities, what stood powerful in that meeting was this. We were all on one accord. It's time to feed people. It is time to feed people. We're talking about human beings, our neighbors, our veterans, our parents, our grandparents. Hunger does not have a party affiliation. It does not care about political labels. This is not a red or blue issue. This is about right and wrong. I see Councilman Joe Jones in the back, and he and I try to hold down the southeast side of this county to make sure that the folks in that area, Warrensville Heights, Lee Harvard, maintain a level of dignity and grace here. The Cuyahoga County's Mayors and Managers Association is calling on all leaders in Washington and Columbus to act with urgency and compassion. Every day of delay means more families facing impossible choices, and we can do much better. So as I stand here, the Mayors and Managers Association offers a resolution of the Cuyahoga County Mayors and Managers Association calling for the action to address the food security crisis resulting from the federal government shutdown. I want us, as I end this today, to say this. We have a saying in Warrensville, and we stand by it. One vision, one team, one goal. And that damn sure is represented in this room today. And we have to carry that forward. So it is now my time to introduce the executive director of the May Dugan Foundation. As you can see, the wonderful work that they're doing here. Executive Director Andy Traers, and let him explain the importance of what when you walk out here, the families that they're feeding, right? The same family we're feeding out in Warrensville and the southeast side of Cleveland, right? The same thing in Brecksville, the same thing, because it's here, nobody is untouched here. You may be sitting high up on the hill, but somebody on that hill needs some help, right? That's what we're here for. This is nothing about anything else but getting the job done. And I know that Clevelanders know exactly how to do that. Andy, come on forward.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Andy Traers. I'm the executive director here at the May Dugan Center. And first off, I want to thank you all very much for being here today. Fridays here at the May Dugan Center are distribution days, so you are all in a food pantry right now. On an annual basis, we serve over 25,000 people throughout our community, both in the city of Cleveland and throughout the county. And so just this week, we are going to provide food to 800 families, 300 of which are walking through the doors as we speak. Everyone is getting fresh produce, canned goods, and meat. As we've moved closer and closer to November 1st, food pantries like the May Dugan Center and the 1,000+ food assistance programs across our region have all been bracing for what next week will mean. And that's where this emergency fund to raise assistance, for assistance for food will be so critical for food pantries like the May Dugan Center across the community. We're going to be able to increase our capacity, we'll be able to keep food on our shelves, and we'll be able to serve those who most need it while they don't have their benefits coming as early as tomorrow. And so what this is going to mean for individuals and what this is going to mean for the community is that people who are scared and people who are concerned are going to be able to turn to their local food pantry. They're going to be able to access that food, and there will be food available for them. So thank you all very much for your support, for your ongoing commitment. This is how we do, this is what we do when we're at our best, is that we come together, support those most in need, and we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you all, everybody who spoke, for your passion and for being on the front line for your constituents. We all worked together. We all called each other leading up to tonight at midnight. It started last week with Congresswoman Shontel Brown. We hosted together a press conference that implored the state of Ohio to help bring funds to our community, knowing that this clock at midnight was going to strike. And if our federal government was shut down, we needed to step up for our residents. Thank you, Congresswoman Brown. I got calls all week from everybody. I got them from Lillian and Kuri at the Cleveland Foundation, Marsha Egbert, your boss, Tony Richardson at the Gun Foundation, Mike Polensik reached out last weekend. It was all the calls of what are we going to do? And today is the result of that network of people who stepped up to do. So we come with an attitude of gratitude, and we come to let our communities know and our residents know we got your back. We will not let you down. The safety net in Cuyahoga County is strong. I need for a moment to just ask for a raise of hands for people who work at our city halls, if you would, and our county officials, the agency folks, before we get to the mayors, just raise a hand. Give them a hand. The people that are out working. Thank you. I need our nonprofit folks to give a hand. If you work for one of our area nonprofits, intermediaries, give them a hand. Our sports team's representatives in the back, would you just raise your hand up there? Thank you for stepping up this week. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. We're all in this together. I think, Representative, as you look across Cuyahoga County, Mayor Sellers referenced every mayor. But what is important to know is hunger does not know city boundaries. We have the mayor of Cleveland and the council president here today. But as was said, we have the mayor and the council president of Garfield Heights. We have the mayor of Pepper Pike. We have the mayor of Euclid. We have the mayor of Bedford. We have the mayor of University Heights. We have Cleveland City Council and council members, County Council, Councilwoman Turner, good to see you too today. Avery Johnson, thank you, from Garfield Heights. But the point is hunger knows no boundaries, and hunger is not a stigma. Hunger is something that we all have to work to avert. And this government shutdown has caused a crisis, and we're stepping up together. I would like every elected official, because we reference you, to stand up and just face the cameras and let them know you got their back out there. Please, please, please. And those that are on the wall, step out. Step out. Thank you. We got your back. Thank you, mayors. I need to take a point of personal privilege and just talk about the everyday stepping up. Early in my term, I got an invitation out to Highland Hills by Mayor Michael Booker. It was a rainy day on a Friday, and he's delivering food door to door to residents, which he does often in the village of Highland Hills. Thank you. And you raise your hand, Michael, so people know who you are. That's every day stepping up to fight hunger with our residents. If you get a chance, thank one of the volunteers here at Maydugan. They're working hard to feed over 300 families as we speak. It's why this place is so crowded. So every day, hunger is an issue. But the federal government, with the shutdown, has now caused a total crisis. And we got to work our way out of it. And I thank Shontel Brown for her work to help us get out of this crisis. But as we reopen, the problems of SNAP are exacerbated because, as Mayor Bibb said, we have 190,000 residents in Cuyahoga County currently receiving SNAP. Different requirements, like work requirements and different rule changes, are going to make it harder and harder for people to get food. That's why Kevin Gowan, our Jobs and Family Services Director, has geared up his staff to deal with not just this crisis of today, but this crisis of the now with the changes in rules for SNAP and Medicaid. But we will have this community's back, and this room is filled all the way to the back with people who care. So I want to thank again our partners at the Cleveland Food Bank and the Hunger Network, who are sharing their stories, and the story that needs are increasing. Our partners at United Way have shared that calls for food assistance have increased. We want to remind every resident and remind your neighbors, as was said by Council President Griffin, this is like COVID. We step up for one another, but remind your neighbors that there's food assistance available at the food bank and through the Hunger Network and through pantries like this at Maydugan and pantries throughout Cuyahoga County. We remind people to call 211 if they have an emergency. As Mayor Sellers said, they're coming to his door. Let them know. 211, the United Way, can help you find food, resources, and help in this community. And remember the food bank and the many pantries in our town. We're here to help Because of the generosity of the partners who came together this week, we have over $600,000 at the ready to help get us through this crisis of the closure of federal government. But we have to stay steadfast to let no Cuyahogan, no one in this county go hungry. Now is the time to donate money, food, checks to your neighbors. That's who it goes to. It goes to our families and those in our community. Now is the time, as we do in Cuyahoga County, to come together to support one another. Thank you, residents. Thank you, all of you, for being here today. Let's help each other through these times. Thank you. Members of the press, if you have questions, you can take them. I think, Jen, you want it off, or you want them here? Okay, the council, the sports teams, and the mayors, come on up. But members of the press, catch us offline if you have more questions, too. Thanks, everybody, for being here, and thanks, May Dugan, for hosting us.